velocity analysis. Velocity analysis. So velocity analysis is very important for GATE. Every year you will be getting questions for 2 marks from velocity analysis. Every year you are getting questions, okay? That's very important. For GATE, IES or any other exam, this is very important. So this doesn't require any formulas, okay? This doesn't require any formulas, it's very simple. Okay, there are 2 methods for velocity analysis. We'll be discussing about the 2 methods. So what is velocity analysis? First, what is velocity analysis? You can hear me, right? What is velocity analysis? So velocity analysis is nothing but the investigation that we do to find out velocities of different links inside the mechanism. It's called as velocity analysis, okay? So in the very beginning I told you, while designing a machine, so what we do is we assume velocity of one input link is some number and we try to find out velocities of different links. Okay, so the analysis that we do to find out velocities of different links inside the mechanism is called as velocity analysis, okay? And why we do this velocity analysis? This velocity analysis is a prerequisite for acceleration analysis. If you want to do force analysis, we need accelerations. And if you want to do acceleration analysis, we need velocities, okay? So you will understand this while doing acceleration analysis, okay? Why velocity analysis is a prerequisite, and while doing force analysis, you will get to know why acceleration analysis is a prerequisite for that. So velocity analysis is a prerequisite for acceleration analysis. In velocity analysis, you will be given velocity of one link inside the mechanism. You are asked to find out velocities of different moving elements inside the machine. So there are 2 different methods for doing velocity analysis. One is instantaneous center method and second one is relative velocity method. So both the methods are graphical, okay? Both the methods are graphical. For your university, you might have gone through those questions. So more graphical oriented. So you have solved the problems by using scale, protractors and drafters. But in GATE, those are all not required, okay? The approach is different, entirely different. So they will set the questions in such a way that so you will be in a position to answer those questions with a rough diagram, okay? The scale, protractor and all those things are not required. Okay, they will set the questions in such a way. Okay. So we'll start with this first method, that is instantaneous center method. Write down instantaneous center method of velocity analysis. Instantaneous center method of velocity analysis. This method is very simple, okay? Instantaneous center method. This method is very simple. There are only 2 steps involved in this method. One is locating instantaneous centers inside the mechanism. Second one is applying a theorem, okay? There is a theorem, angular velocity ratio theorem, applying that theorem. So only 2 steps, location of I centers and applying the theorem. Write down velocity analysis by instantaneous center method. Instantaneous center method, it's simply called as I center method, okay? Velocity analysis by instantaneous center method. So before locating instantaneous centers and all, what is instantaneous center? What is instantaneous center? What is instantaneous center? Instantaneous center. So whenever I say instantaneous center, it's nothing but, so it's a point where we need to stand so that we can see the motion to be in perfect rotation, okay? So some links may not be in pure rotation, okay? So if a link is rotating about some point, if the disk is rotating about some center, so we can easily say this is center of rotation of the disk. It's a fixed center, okay? This is center of rotation of the disk. If a body is translating, if a body is in pure translation, I can say velocities of all the points will be same in the same direction. So I can say like this body is rotating about in a circle whose radius is infinite, because every straight line is a part of circle with infinite radius. So I can say when a body is in pure translation, you see you stand at infinite, you can see the motion to be in pure rotation. If the disk is rotating about some center, we can easily, that's the center, it's already located. But you may come across some bodies which are neither in pure rotation, like the disk, or nor in pure translation, like the slider we have seen. So those links may be having a combined motion. So they may be in a combined motion of translation as well as rotation. If I take the connecting rod inside IC engine, so the connecting rod is neither in pure translation nor in pure rotation, it is in combined motion, okay? So those kind of motions, we call them as general plane motion. Whenever I say general plane motion, it's a combination of both translation and rotation. So these bodies, which are in a combined motion, combination of translation and rotation, these bodies can also be seen to be in perfect rotation, okay? These bodies can also be seen to be in perfect rotation by standing at some point in the space, in the plane. So that point we call it as instantaneous center of rotation. If you stand at that particular point at that instant, you can see motion of that body to be in perfect rotation. That's called as instantaneous center of rotation. Okay? So motion of any body can be seen to be in perfect rotation by standing at one point in space. That point is called as instantaneous center of rotation of that body. Okay, just write down like this. Instantaneous center of rotation. Instantaneous center of rotation. Just write down like this. Any rigid body at any instant of time, any rigid body, just write down like this. Any rigid body which is in general plane motion, any rigid body which is in general plane motion, any rigid body which is in general plane motion, any rigid body which is in general plane motion, at any instant, can be seen to be in perfect rotation, with respect to one point in space, known as instantaneous center of rotation. Any rigid body which is in general plane motion at any instant can be seen to be in perfect rotation with respect to one point in space, known as instantaneous center of rotation. It's known as instantaneous center of rotation. Okay. How to locate this instantaneous center of rotation? Just listen here. How to locate this instantaneous center of rotation? So I'm taking a body. So this body is moving in a circular path. Okay, it's moving in a circular path. So I'm assuming the body is somewhere over here. Okay, if the body is here, so this is center of rotation. So velocity of this body, I can say, it will be perpendicular to the radial line. So velocity will be perpendicular to the radial line. Velocity vector is perpendicular to the radial line. Now see here. So this is the velocity vector for the body. This is the velocity vector for the body. This is the line perpendicular to velocity vector. Now see here, you stand at any point on this line. I say the body, you can see that motion to be in perfect rotation. Okay. So if I stand at this point, so I can see this body in perfect rotation, and this is the radius of the circle. Okay. If I stand here, then also I can feel this body is in perfect rotation about this circle. You stand at any point. If I stand here, so I can see that motion to be in perfect rotation about this circular path. You stand at any point on this line, you can see motion of that point to be in perfect rotation. Okay. So basically I can say, if you stand at any point on a line which is perpendicular to the velocity vector, you feel motion of that particular point to be in perfect rotation. Okay. So we try to locate instantaneous center for a body which is in general plane motion. Whenever I say a body is in general plane motion, different points will have different velocities. Okay. So if a body is rotating, I can say velocity vectors may be something like this. So here there is more velocity, and velocity vectors are something like this. This is velocity. They are perpendicular to the radial line. So whenever I say a body is translating, velocities of all the points will be same in magnitude and direction. If your body is in pure translation, all the points will have same velocity, both magnitude and direction. If it is rotating, velocities will be something like this. So whenever I say body is neither rotating nor translating, it's having both the motions, combined motion, general plane motion. Whenever I say body is in general plane motion, different points on the body will have different velocities. So how to locate instantaneous center? So I'm taking some body. This body is in general plane motion. Okay. This body is in general plane motion. This is neither translating nor rotating. This is moving something like this. It is translating as well as it's also rotating. Okay. It's translating as well as rotating. You choose any 2 points on this body. I'm choosing these 2 points. I'm finding point A and point B. You draw the velocity vectors at the 2 points. You choose any 2 points on the body and you draw velocity vectors at the 2 points. So I choose the 2 points and I found velocity vector at point A is in this direction. Depending upon how the body is moving, we can draw these velocity vectors. So I found velocity of point B is in this direction. I have choose the body. I have choose 2 points on the body. I have drawn velocity vectors at the 2 points. So depending upon motion of the body, you can draw the velocity vectors. So point A is moving in this direction at this instant, point B is moving in this direction. This body is neither in pure translation nor in pure rotation, it is in a combined motion, okay? Now I can say like this. This is the velocity vector of point B. If I draw a line perpendicular to the velocity vector, so I can say like this, you stand at any point on this line, you can see motion of this point B to be in perfect rotation, okay? Just like what I have told there. You stand at any point on this line, you feel motion of point B to be in perfect rotation. Similarly, you stand at any point on this line, this is perpendicular to this velocity vector. You stand at any point on this line, you feel motion of point A to be in perfect rotation. If I stand on this line, I feel A is in rotation. If I stand on this line, I feel If I stand on this line, I feel B is in perfect rotation. If I stand on this line, I feel A is in perfect rotation. I can say, if I stand here, I feel both points A and B are in perfect rotation. In other ways, it's a rigid link, right? So this entire link is in perfect rotation about this point. So at this instant, this body is moving in the plane of board, okay? This body is moving in the plane of board, and that motion is not pure rotation, not pure translation. It is a general plane motion. Just write down, whenever I say general plane motion, it is a combination of translation and rotation, okay? This is in general plane motion. So the relative motion between board and the body is general plane motion, but that motion can also be seen to be in perfect rotation by standing somewhere over here. So whenever you want to look at an instantaneous center, you choose any 2 points on the body, draw velocity vectors, draw perpendiculars to the velocity vectors. Wherever the perpendiculars intersect, that is instantaneous center of rotation, okay? So the 2 perpendiculars may intersect here, they may intersect on the board, or they may intersect on the body itself, or they may intersect outside both of them. Are you getting my point? So basically, there is relative motion between these 2 bodies. One body is fixed body and one is moving body. The fixed body is the board. I'm calling this as link number 1, and this is link number 2, okay? This is link number 2. Board is fixed, okay? Board is fixed, and this is moving in the plane of board. So this is moving. This is a fixed body and this is moving body. So the relative motion between these 2 bodies is neither pure translation nor pure rotation. It is in some general motion, but we can see that motion to be in perfect rotation by standing at this point. So this is the instantaneous center of rotation for these 2 bodies. Between these 2 bodies, there is some relative motion. That relative motion can be seen to be in perfect rotation by standing at this point. So since this is the instantaneous center for body 1 and 2, we represent like this, okay? So we write the numbers over here, I12. I12 indicates it is the common instantaneous center for body 1 and body 2. So sometimes it's also written like this, I21. There is no difference between I12 or I21, okay? This 1, 2 or 2, 1 just indicates for which 2 links this is the instantaneous center. So between any 2 links there will be relative motion, right? That relative motion can be seen to be in perfect rotation by standing at the common instantaneous center. So this is the common instantaneous center for the fixed link and for this moving link. If I stand at this point on the board, I can see this motion to be in perfect rotation. Are you getting my point? Okay. And where does this eye center lie? This eye center lies wherever the 2 perpendiculars intersect, okay? Wherever the 2 perpendiculars intersect. The perpendiculars may intersect on body 2, or the perpendiculars may intersect on body 1, that is the board, or the perpendiculars may intersect outside both the body, okay? And it may intersect outside the board also. Wherever they intersect, that is the eye center. So this I12 and I21, this is just a number. This just indicates for which 2 links this is the instantaneous center. Board I call as link number 1, and this body I call it as link number 2. So this is the instantaneous center for these 2 bodies. Just to tell for which 2 bodies is the eye center, we indicate these numbers. I12 or 21. There is no difference between 1, 2 and 2. 1, 2 and 2, 1 will just indicate for which 2 bodies this is the eye center. Okay? Yeah, at a particular instant, okay? So at this instant, if you stand here, you can see this motion to be in perfect rotation. Okay? Now see here, so I'm saying like this, at this instant, so if you stand here, you feel motion of this body to be in perfect rotation about this point, okay? So since it is perfect rotation, since it is rotating about this point, we can define something called as angular velocity. We can define something called as angular velocity. I say like this body is rotating about this center with this angular velocity. If this is the angular velocity and this is center of rotation, so what is velocity of any point on a rotating object? If I said this disk is rotating about this center, so velocity of point A is, so RA times omega, yes or no? So if this is omega, velocity of point A is, so radius into angular velocity. This is velocity of point A, right? If you want to find a velocity of point B, I say this is, so radius of B into omega. So this is velocity of point B. Velocity of any point is directly proportional to its distance, okay? Its distance from center of rotation. So here also the same thing. This is center of rotation and that is the point we want to find a velocity. So velocity of point B, I say like this. It is directly proportional to its distance from center of rotation. Center of rotation is I and the point is this one. It's directly proportional to this distance, IB distance. Our velocity of point B is omega times IB, okay? So similarly, velocity of point A is omega times IA. So if you want to find a velocity of any point C or D or anything, velocity of C, D or any point, so velocity of C is omega times distance between I and C. Velocity of D is omega times distance between I and D. Goes on. You take any point, if you want to find a velocity of any point, you find distance of that from center of rotation and multiply that with omega, that gives you velocity of that point. If you can look at instantaneous center, you can find a velocity of any point on that. And you choose any 2 points on this body, you draw velocity vectors, you draw perpendiculars to the velocity vector at this instant, so all the perpendiculars will meet here only, okay? Will meet here only. So this is not a true center, okay? This is not a true center. This is not a true center. At this instant, if you stand here, you feel motion of this body to be perfect rotation about this point, okay? So at this instant, if you stand here, you feel motion of this body to be perfect rotation. At the next instant, the body is not here, right? The body is continuously moving its location, okay? Now the body is here. After some time, maybe the body change its position, okay? So the body may go to a new position, something like this. Maybe it go to a new position like this. This is B. So velocity of B is in this direction. This is velocity of B, and velocity of A is in this direction. After some time, so this is the location of body. If this is the location of body after some time, so again you draw perpendiculars to the velocity vector. You draw perpendiculars to the velocity vector. So wherever the perpendiculars meet, that is I center. So at every instant, the I center will be changing. I center will be changing its position. So as the body changes its position, the location of I center will also be changing. So that's why we call it as instantaneous center, okay? At this instant, this is the center of rotation. At this instant, this is the center. That's what I was saying, how to plot. So this is fixed link. You see the body which is moving, okay? This is the body moving. You choose any 2 points on the body. You draw velocity vectors at the 2 points. Once you draw the velocity vectors at the 2 points, you draw perpendiculars to the velocity vectors. Wherever the perpendiculars intersect, that is I center. So you choose any 2 points. So depending upon how the link is moving, you can choose some points and you can easily draw velocity vectors. And once you draw velocity vectors, you draw perpendiculars to them. So wherever the perpendiculars intersect, that gives you the instantaneous center.